Hi, I'm Dean Talcott. Welcome to Fanwood Maple Sugaring. We're in my backyard where I've lived for 47 years. Behind me is the Fanwood Nature Center. I've been involved in several committees in Fanwood. I'm a master gardener. I'm a 4-H master tree steward, and that means I go out to 4th grade classes and I teach about trees. So we're going to talk about maple sugaring. There's some basic information that I need to show you. I'm going to show you how we tap a tree and how we know whether it's a maple or not. I need to explain the layers within a tree so that you can understand why this time of the year is when we tap the trees. Right? The center portion of the tree is known as the heartwood. That holds up the tree. That and the root systems hold up the tree. The next layer is called the xylem. There's tiny tubes in the xylem, and they expand and contract, and they bring water up from the roots out to the branches and to where the leaves are. When photosynthesis is occurring, the food that's created is sent down the phloem. What's not used to help make the ring goes down and is stored in the roots. The tree releases some of that stored energy this time of the year. It only lasts normally for a month or so, and then the tree maintains that. Okay. Then I put this piece in. It's called a spile. All right, I put it in a hole, and then I tap it in a little bit just to hold it tight. Okay, then I put the bucket on it that's going to collect all the sap. I do a couple of trees on my property, and I do some on my neighbor's property. A tree has to be 10 inches in diameter before you can tap it, and then for every 10 inches bigger than it is, you could add another tap onto it. We don't have sugar maples around here, very few. They're up north, up in Vermont, New York State. But what we do have is red maple and silver maple. This is a silver maple. In order to identify what a maple tree looks like, you look at the branching. You notice that this little branch is right opposite this one. That's how we know. There are certain trees that have opposite branching. We remember that by mad horse. Mad, M-A-D, maple, ash, dogwood, and horse chestnut. If you recall, this is the tapping. I showed you how to tap the tree. Put this up. Yesterday when I was out here looking at it, this can got knocked off, whether it was wind, a squirrel, woodchuck, I don't know what happened, but so that was nothing in there. But then this one has sap in it. So I go around with this blue bucket and I empty it. And put it back. So this was only 2 weeks. The other cans that I put up, and I've got a total of 8 cans, I did at the end of January. Today is the first time I'm actually boiling down sap. This is not a good year for making maple syrup. The only thing I can think of is that the weather is just It's not concentrated. Normally, in February we'd have February weather, and we don't have that anymore. We used to get like a January, it'd be really freezing. At the end of the month, you'd get a January thaw, and then you'd get into weather it was a little freezing at night and above freezing during the day, and that's ideal. That's when the roots start to absorb the water and also release some of that stored energy that it made from the year before during the growing season through photosynthesis. So I go around and I collect the sap. I'm going to just take this and put it right in with the other. This burner that I bought is a propane burner. Use the same kind of propane tank that you use on a gas grill. It's going to be 2-3 hours before it gets boiled down. And when I say gets boiled down, there's only about 1/4 of an inch left in the bottom of that pot. That's all the syrup that you get out of doing this. Normally, in a good year, I would be boiling down 5 or 6 times. And the last few years it's gone down. Last year I only boiled down twice. This year, as I said, I think it's only going to happen once. When I'm all done, I'm only going to get about that much maple syrup. But on a good year, I'm going to fill this up and probably have another one of these containers, maybe even halfway. So I might have 1.5 of this of maple syrup. Now when I'm all done and the season is over, I go through a canning process. Right? I boil these kind of jars and the lids, put them in boiling water so they're sterilized, and then I set them on the side and I pour in the maple syrup. And then I don't hold it with, I have gloves on, mittens. And it closes this up, and you can hear a lot of times the last little bit of air suck out of there, so it's sealed. Then I put this, I refrigerate it, not freeze it, just refrigerate it, and it lasts for years. I hope you enjoyed this. This is making maple syrup in Fanwood, and I'm Dean Talcott.